Okay, so welcome to Form 5 KSSM Max class. And I think Anson have been with me in the count class. Okay, so I'm Ms Venice. So I cover all level Max and I do teach accounting as well. I've been in tutoring field since many years ago, and I started as a home tutor many years ago, and I opened up the tuition center, which is Vivo Art Learning Center. Yeah, so that's me. Okay. Just let me admit another student in first, yeah. So waiting for her to join the audio. Just a while. It's not joining audio. I had problem. Okay, just let me share my screen first, yeah. Okay, let me know something about you. So may I know what kind of language is used in your school to conduct maths class? Can you type in the chat box? English or BM? English, BM, English. English. Okay, mostly it's English. Yeah? Okay, so no worry, Kishan, I will do bilingual as well. Don't worry, not to worry. So did you sit for proper, okay, what I mean proper exam is with the latest format. Do you know that you are the first batch who are sitting for KSSM, right? The last batch is KBSM. So it's totally different format. Do you aware of the latest format? Yes or no? No idea, or you have sit for the proper exam in Form 4? You know what's the latest format, right? Not sure. Okay, not sure. Huh? So that means most of you doesn't aware of the latest format, right? Okay, so okay, I will introduce to you later. Okay, which subject is easier in your opinion? Is it Maths or Ed Maths? Which one is easier? Yang paling senang, lebih senang. You know why I ask so? Because I received the registration form. Mostly register for Maths class more than the MX class. So I'm wondering which one is easier in your opinion, or none of this? Chemistry is easier, is it? I think mostly here is from chemistry. Maths, all right. Okay, okay. Mathematic, yeah. Okay, so those from chemistry class, you can ask your sir. He said MX is easier than Max. Okay, so I'm wondering you guys also the same batch. All right, so yeah, next course, yeah. Before I want to start my session for chapter 1, variation. So a few words from me, which is I know you are the first batch who are sitting for KSSM, and you went through all the hassle last year through online learning. I think it's very hectic for you as well. But I think you need to start back the momentum right now, not until open school, right now. And consistency is the best plan. Okay, make sure you consistently, you learn and you follow the chapters. So no matter what happens later, not sure whether this year will postpone or not for the SPM, but you prepare by yourself first. Everything you prepare first, then you won't feel so panic because you learn experience from the last batch, right? Yeah, so you have to start as early as possible. All right. So yeah, so let's start with the new format first. Yeah, introduce to you the new format. So you are going to have two papers, still the same, but paper 1, 40 objective. You can see here, 40 objective questions, and it's 1.5 means 1.5 hour. But for paper 2, there are a big change, big change in paper 2, which you have two, it's the same, the duration is the same, 2.5 hours, but it's split to 3 sections. So these 3 sections, section A, we start with section A first, consists of 10 questions, which is similar to your section B in PT3. If you remember, PT3, section B, how does it look like? Matching, fill in the blank, write false or true statement, those simple and direct questions, yeah, for section A, 10 questions. It consists of 40 marks. Then for section B, it's something like your section C in PT3, a bit indirect. Okay, the questions they ask is a bit indirect. Yeah, a bit indirect, and then it's longer. You need to write working, much more calculation in section B. Yeah, then it consists of 45 marks. So you need to answer all questions given. And the last one is section C. So if you can see section C, is only 2 questions, but you need to choose only one. But this one questions alone is 15 marks. So you can expect how much working you have to write, yeah, for this one questions. Yeah. So it's more about K-BAT questions, and you need a lot of understanding. Not only the theory, but you know the calculation, the reasoning part, yeah, the reasoning part. So the total papers for both is 140. So how you want to calculate the total marks would be the total marks you score for both papers. Let's say you score 112. Yeah, so over 140 times 100 marks, you will get 80 marks. All right, that's how you calculate. So this is the latest format. So paper 2, because paper 2 consists of 100 marks, so it's more important. Okay, if you compare paper 1 and paper 2 is more important than paper 1. And paper 1, you get the objective. So if you are not sure, you try your luck. Okay, so this is the difference between paper 1 and paper 2. So I'm going to show you a real paper, yeah, for KSSM. Yeah, so 40 questions. If you look at the questions, some is K-BAT, some is very easy, like number 2. Number 2, you can calculate by using your calculator. Key in, you'll get the answer directly. Okay, some questions is pretty easy, pretty direct, but some you need to, K-BAT questions lah. Okay, just to show you. And not forget your PT3, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Max, it will be tested, yeah. It doesn't mean that Form 4 and Form 5 only. Okay, Form 1 to Form 5, it all will be covered. Okay, so just to show you, scroll down. Now this is Form 1, Form 1. Yeah, some is Form 1, some is Form 2. Okay, this is Form 4, which you have learned. Okay, some is very easy, just let you look. Okay, 23, yeah. Which of the following is a statement? 5 minus x equal to 1. How old are you? Don't step on the grass. Humans have 3 eyes. Okay, something like this. So you must really understand the theory, not only the calculation part. It's the theory of the maths. Okay, you need to understand why. Yeah. So this is section A, objective, and now we go to paper 2, which I mentioned. Section A is pretty direct. Yeah, if you look at rearrange the numbers in ascending order. This looks like UBSR, ascending order. Okay, but this is number based. You learn in Form 5. Okay, you have learned, right, in Form 4, number based. Okay, so it's quite direct one. Okay, shading, calculate the values. Okay, so 1 to 10, 10 questions. Simple and direct for section A. Section B, more calculation. Okay, more calculation. Okay, this is section B. If I'm going too fast, you want me to slow down, just type in the chat box, or you can PM me if you feel shy. And section C. Section C only got 2 questions, but you just need to choose 1 questions. Let's look at the questions. How is it looks like? 1 question, how long? Okay, so here, number 16. There, A, okay, you got the paragraph and pentagon, hexagon. Then A, like that, calculate the value of X, and B, they have 1 with all the paragraph, B2, and then C. This is consists of 1 question. Yeah. You can choose another questions as well, 17. So this is the last chapter you have learned in BT3, if I'm not mistaken. Form 4, sorry, Form 4. Okay, this is it. So for KSSM syllabus, I would say, it's not only you have to master in your skill of mathematics, it should be your language. So it would be good if your school exam consists of bilingual. It will be good, okay? Because sometimes you're not very sure about English, you can look at the BM. Like for Kishan, if BM not very sure, you can check English words. So I think you can benefit from the bilingual. All right, so you have to prepare. And for your information, it's not like KBSM syllabus. If let's say like KBSM syllabus, certain topics will come up only. But for KSSM, it's cover all. You cannot run from any chapter. So you need to look in every chapter. Yeah, okay. So that's, have a good look of the SPM format. Yeah. So far until here, any questions? Can you turn the chat box? Yes, no? Any questions you want to ask? I would appreciate if you give me some response. If not, I feel alone, like talking to the wall. Thank you, thanks for your reply. Okay, no, okay, all right. So we can start with chapter 1, variation. Okay, just a quick check. Have you started this chapter? Anyone in the room, have you started this chapter? No? Juliet, no also? You should know. Oh, okay. All right. So I will go a bit slower. I think possibly I can finish 1 chapter by today. Now it's 3 o'clock. I'll cast until 4:15, right? Okay. I will do a summary. So for my style of teaching is I will do a summary for you. All right. So chapter 1 variation dalam BM Hichan ini ialah ubahan. Yeah, ubahan. So in English, translate in English, it means relation. What does it mean by variation? It means relation, hubungan. Relation. Okay, dalam BM, hubungan. So what is the relation between you and I? Okay, simple one. Teacher and student. So hubungan. So in this chapter, what we want to investigate or what we want to learn is the relation between 2 variables. Okay, between 2 variables. So what are the variables that we are always talking to, which is the X and the Y. Okay, so if you draw out in graph form, it's the object and the image. Okay, you learn in Form 4, function, right? X and Y. Okay, so in this chapter, you only have to learn direct variation, ubahan langsung, inverse variation, ubahan songsang, combined variation, which is dia berkabung, ya, hubungan yang berkabung. Combined variation means combine of direct and inverse variation. Just that simple. All right. So the idea here, the first thing first, what you need to clear is the meaning of variation. So it means relation between two variables. Hubungan di antara dua pemboleh ubah. Okay. So the first part, direct variation, yeah. The first part is direct. Okay, if you look at the English word direct, apakah maksud? Langsung, ubahan langsung. Yeah, it means if something is increased, then another one also increase in a same direction. Contohnya, kalau case COVID-19 semakin meningkat, so bila you kerap keluar, apa yang akan terjadi? Ia akan jangkit COVID-19 lebih senang. So that is ubahan langsung. It means it has same proportional relation. Okay, is it okay until now? Or in science, scientific word, it will be hypothesis. The more, the more. Or the less, the less. So I can say direct variation. Okay. When variable y increases, then variable x increases. Or it's just like science, the hypothesis. The more, the more. It's in the same direction. So if you terbalikkan dia, apabila pemboleh ubah y berkurang, maka pemboleh ubah x berkurang. Okay, but over here, we have something extra, which is it will change at a constant rate. It will change at a constant rate. Dalam kadar yang tertentu. At a constant rate. So in simple words, So if let's say variable y increases, then variable x will increases 3 times. Berapa kali ganda? Itu maksud dia constant variable. Constant rate. Kadar yang tetap. Or another example would be 4 eggs are used to make 1 butter cake. Something like this, right? So if you wish to make more butter cakes, okay, then you need more eggs. You will need more eggs. So 3 times 4 is 12. So variation is kind of proportion. Yeah, it's kind of proportion. Okay. Until here, no problem here. Can? Okay. So let me erase this so that I can write more, yeah. Now look at this word. P varies directly as R. Now this is in a sentence form. This is in a sentence form. But when we put it in max form, so we can explain P, let's say we have variable P. P varies directly as R. It means the same thing. When variable P increases, then variable R increases. Dalam BM, sama sahaja ya. P berubah secara langsung dengan R. Okay, berubah secara langsung. So, kalau kita nak tukar dalam bentuk simbol ya, simbol. P berubah secara langsung dengan R. Dia macam satu simbol sushi mentai. Sushi. Sushi mentai ke sushi? Something like that. The ikan. Simbol ikan tu. Okay, so when you read in English, will be P varies directly as R. So this is the symbol. It's just like a fish. Okay. So how you read this? Y varies directly as X. Dalam BM, Y berubah secara langsung dengan X. Okay. So bila you buat simbol ikan ini, in max language, it means relation or variation. Very good. So if you write this symbol, it means variation. Hubungan. Apakah bentuk hubungan? But if we want to change it into equation form, equal, equation, bentuk persamaan, then we need to insert the constant rate, or we call it in English is the constant of proportionality. Proportionality means kadaran. Dalam BM tu kadaran. So we will label it as K. K means that berapa gali ganda. How many times it will be increases or how many times it will be decreased. Okay. So dalam bentuk persamaan or in equation form, we have to write Y equal to KX. Itu dua beza dia. Okay. So I want to make it clear a little bit here. So I will write this as variation. Okay, variation form. Y varies directly as X. Yang bawah ada K tersebut ialah bentuk persamaan in equation form. So when we want to calculate, we need to change to equation form. Alright, because you need to calculate. Mesti ada nombor. So mesti ada simbol sama dengan. Okay, these two things is the most important in this chapter, yeah. Variation form and equation form. What is the K? The K is the constant of proportionality. In simple word, means berapa kali ganda, how many times of. Okay, like a daily life example would be the COVID-19 case, right? So usually when they make announcement in the press conference, so they will always refer to what are not. Okay, if you listen to the press conference, you always heard of are not. Okay, why is the are not is so important? The are not is something like the K. Kadar dia, berapa kali ganda. So if the R naught is increases, that means the chances of contagious disease of this COVID-19 is higher. So that means there will be more people get affected. That's why nowadays you see the cases keep increasing. So if there's no MCO 2.0, we can expect 5,000 or 8,000 per day in the near future. So that's the reason why they want to have this MCO. And based on what? Based on R naught. Yeah, based on R naught. So you look at actually maths and science are siblings. Okay, if you're good in science, you must be good in maths as well. Yeah. All right. Done. Until this part. Do you copy? Or you can screenshot. Huh? You can do the notes later also. Okay. You can screenshot. Okay. Just let me know you have done. Okay, just type in the chat box done or okay so that I can continue. Okay, done. All right. Okay, thank you for reply. So continue. Okay, so for the variation form, we can read this as y is, when you read, reading, y is proportional, seperti dalam bentuk kadaran, proportional to x. You just need to know how to read only. It won't be tested. Yeah, y is proportional to x. Okay. So now since we know, okay, about the graph, yeah, about the graph. So let's say we have this equation form already. So when we draw in the graph form, then it will be a straight line starting from origin. Again, if you transfer into the graph form, bentuk graph, dia mesti bermula dari asalan. Must, M-U-S-T ya, must, mesti. Kalau dia bukan dari titik asalan, then it is not a direct variation. Boleh faham? Okay, so it must be from origin, so that you can measure the K. Do you see when it increases? You see when X increases, Y increases as well. So it's at a constant rate. So that's the reason why the graph is a straight line. Okay, it's a straight line. Draw the graph as well. So this is direct variation graph form, and now we can use the equation form to help us to calculate, untuk menghitung. So example 1, given y varies directly as x, okay, berubah secara langsung dengan x. So sentence by sentence. Okay, when we want to solve menyelesaikan masalah matematik, okay, kita buat satu ayat demi satu ayat, sentence by sentence. So we change this to variation form first. Y is proportional to x. Betul? Variation form. So y is equal to 20 when x equal to 2. Okay, so just now we have learned how you change or you convert the variation form to equation form by insert the constant rate, which is the k. Yeah? So you change it to y equal to kx. Okay, let me write on the side. Yeah? Just a while. Okay, let me write here. So y is proportional to x, hence y equal to kx. So this is how we convert. Then we have the value y equal to 20. Okay, now y is equal to 20. So what is the value of k? X is equal to 2. So we find out the value of k first. So k equal to 20 divided by 2 is 10. And we know that k is a constant rate. What is the meaning of constant rate? It's a fixed or unchanged quantity value. Unchanged. So that means we can rewrite the equation form as y equal to 10x. Yeah? Y equal to 10x. This is the equation form we get from the questions. So the questions want us to find the value of x. Continue. Find the value of x when y is equal to 5. Oh, easy. Substitute only. Just continue. Y is equal to 5. This is 10. The k is equal to 10. Then find out the value of x. So x is equal to 1 over 2. That's all. Okay, so you got the answer. So x is equal to 1 over 2. So done for one question. Okay, done. Okay. Can we can continue. So the first part what we have covered is the direct variation. What we have covered is the direct variation. And we have to continue with inverse variation. Or before that, we do one problem solving first. Inverse variation. Before we continue, we do this first. You can see, right? Okay. The surface area A cm square of a sphere varies directly as the square of its radius r cm. Sentence by sentence, we stop here. Okay, how we convert? The surface area A of a sphere varies directly as the square of its radius r cm. So A is proportional to the square of r. Okay, so clear. So you get the variation form already. Second part, second sentence. If the surface area of a sphere of radius is 7, cm is 616. Okay, you write down on the other side, when A is equal to 616, then the R is equal to 7. Continue. Find the surface area of a sphere of a radius 2 cm. So find the value of A when R is equal to 2. So what's next? You change the variation form into equation form. So A equal, change to equal, then the K must come in. K R squared. Right? So insert the first value to find out the value of K first. Ya, cari nilai K dahulu ya. So 600, okay. 616 equal to K times 7 squared. So K equal to 616 divided by 49. Okay, so I would prefer you to write in fraction form here. Write in fraction form. Okay, you know why in fraction form? Because you will get the decimal in 12.57142857. So it's better for you to write in fraction form because it's not the final answer yet. Yeah, it's not the final answer. That's the reason you keep it in fraction form dalam bentuk pecahan. Okay, seterusnya belum habis ya sebab dia nak cari nilai A. Seterusnya sambung. You got K already, so you write back A equal to 88 over 7 R squared. So now find the value of A when R is equal to 2. Substitute and key in calculator to calculate. Would you help me to calculate and type in the answer in the chat box? Can? Okay, I got one answer here. Others? Come on, others. Are you calculating? Are you calculating? Okay, got another answer here. Okay, so for the final answer, okay, it's 352 over 7. You can write that as well, but because of the final answer, write back in decimal form. Write back in decimal form, 50.29 cm square. Okay, it's okay. Great try. So 352 over 7, or you can write in decimal form, which is 50.29 cm square. Okay, good job. So it's very easy for chapter 1. Okay. Can I just continue, right? Can I continue? Okay, all right. So this is direct variation. Direct variation. Ubahan langsung. Maksud dia, bila satu dia naik, bertambah. Another one also bertambah. Okay, then we go to the second one, inverse variation. Inverse variation, ubahan songsang. Okay, look at the word, then you guess first. Okay, have a guess. Apakah maksud? Apakah maksud songsang ataupun inverse? Means terbalik. If one is increases, then another is decreases. Yeah, terbalik. So that's why we say inverse variation, or dalam BM tu ubahan songsang. So now if you read this sentence, you will understand what it means. Y varies inversely as Z. Dia berubah songsang. Maksud dia apabila Y bertambah, Z akan berkurang. When Y increase, then Z decrease. So if you put it in daily life example way, will be apabila harga. If I say harga barang, the price of a product increases, then the demand, permintaan, okay, the demand will be lesser. So Y varies inversely as Z. So if we change it into variation form, okay, you see Y varies inversely means in fraction form. In fraction form. Ya, sebab dia songsang. Berubah secara songsang dengan Z. Okay. So bila kita lukis dalam graf, katakan ini adalah Y, ini adalah Z. Berubah songsang. Okay, inversely. When one increase, another one decrease. So the graph will be a hyperbola. Okay, make sense, Okay, you see, when the price is higher, the demand is lower. Okay, when the price is decreasing, the demand is increasing. So the curve would be a hyperbola. Inverse variation. Okay, look carefully, Y varies inversely. That is proportional to Z. But if you write 1 over Z like this, 1 over Z, because we know it is increases or decreases at a constant rate. Constant rate, which we have just learned, which is the symbol of K, right? A symbol of K. So it would be a straight line. It will be a straight line starting from the origin. Look carefully, the difference would be, this is Y inversely to Z. But with a constant rate, when we change it to a straight line, then what we have to write is Y varies inversely as 1 over X. We inverse the X already into fraction form. So that's why the graph would be a straight line starting from origin. Okay. So this is variation form bentuk ubahan. So bila you tukar dalam bentuk persamaan in equation form, then it will be y equal to k. Okay, you can write like this, k times 1 over x. Or it is the same if you write y equal to k over x. It's the same, just times in. Okay, so this is equation form, bentuk persamaan. So it's quite direct, this part. If you have done, you can try the example there first while waiting. Okay, so example 1. Given y varies inversely as x, so what we do is, we change it into variation form first. Y varies inversely 1 over x. Yeah, change it into equation form. Y equal to k over x. Second sentence, y equal to 2 when x equal to 4. So substitute 2 and k is here, x is equal to 4. So what is the value of k? Is equal to 8. Continue. Find the value of y when x equal to 1 over 2. So we write back y equal to 8 over x. Proceed to find y when x is equal to 1 over 2. So what is the value? 60. Right, 60. Double check. Okay, done. If not done, you can just let me know. So no reply, no response means I can scroll down. Okay, no issue, right? Okay, the last part. Okay, the last part. Join variation. Ubahan bergabung. Okay, so you look at the word bergabung in English, join. Means now we have direct, varies directly and inversely. So let's try the first sentence here. Okay, P varies directly as. Now we have Q and R. Ada dua pun boleh ubah di belakang. So when you convert it into variation form, so P is proportional to Q times R. Darab dengan sama dengan BM saja, berubah secara langsung. So you separate this part. P and then Q and R. Boleh? Joint variation. That means it measures 3 variables and the 2 variables is correlated. Okay. Second, Y varies inversely as X and Z. So, tukar macam ni. Okay. Y varies inversely, that means we have to change it to fraction already. 1 over X and Z. Okay. Berubah secara songsang. Okay. Dengan X dan Z. So when you want to change to equation form, it is still the same. Masih sama. Y change to equation form equal to K, okay, I put this, K over X, Z. That's how you convert into equation form. Then you can substitute the value and then you find out whichever unknown they want, yeah? Third one, A varies directly as B, then inversely as C. Ada dua bahagian. Okay. Okay, macam ni. A berubah secara langsung dengan B. So, A varies directly is proportional to B and inversely over C. Okay, inversely per. So, that's how you write it. So, this is variation form. Yeah, this is variation form. So if you change to equation form, A equal to K times B over C. Okay, or you can write as A equal to K times B over C. It's the same, yeah? Okay. Then the last one, I want you to type in the chat box and you try. You can DM me. Okay, if you want, you DM me your answer. Okay, I highlight the keyword for you and you try it. So let me see if you can get the idea or not. You can type in equation format. Please send in equation form. Bentuk persamaan. Oh, maybe you can't key in the symbol of square root, is it? Laptop got square root or not? No. Okay, then I write the answer, yeah. P varies directly as Q. Okay, change to variation form first. Yeah. P varies directly. Oh, I can see. Okay, someone can get it. All right. Okay, Q. Yeah, correct. Okay. Q and inversely as the square root of R. So change into equation form. So just insert the K beside the Q. Aha, you got it? Well done. All right, as simple as that. Okay, one last. Try it. Let me see. Cube of z. Okay, cube of z, you can just write a 3 at the side. Or square, you just write a 2 at the side. Yeah, try again. One more. One more. So get your some okay, get some answer ready. Yes, all correct. So y varies is proportional to the square of x. X squared means inversely to the cube of z. Right? So change it to equation form kx squared over z cube. Easy, right? Then you see when I scroll further down, okay, finish, done. This chapter is like that only. Easy, right? Okay, only 3 parts here. What you have to learn in this chapter is direct variation, inverse variation, and combined variation. Of course, we have more challenging questions later, but for today's session, okay, let me repeat or recap. What you need to know in this chapter is the meaning first. Okay, is the meaning first. What does it mean by variation? It's relation, labian tu hubungan. So when we talk about relation, not to forget about the graph, yeah, the graph. So if it's direct variation, so the graph is starting from origin. It's a straight line, x, y. So when we read this graph, it will be y varies directly as x. Okay. So when you change to equation form, bentuk persamaan, wujudnya k, okay, which is the proportion at a constant rate, constant rate. So it become y equal to kx. Now, the next thing would be, since you know this is a straight line, this is a straight line, so if you want to find the value, let's say you want to find the value of the straight line, which we call it gradient, kecerunan. And I hope you remember how to find gradient, using the two coordinates, yeah, using the two coordinates, and you will be able to find the value of gradient. So the value of m, the gradient is actually k, the constant rate. Sama sahaja ya. So untuk gradient, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you need to know the graph form, the variation form, and also when you want to calculate the value, you need to change to equation form. So this is direct variation. Okay. Then for inverse variation, okay, inverse variation is when you write here x, y varies inversely as x. If let's say I change here to x, okay, x, y varies inversely as z. So the graph form would be a hyperbola. That means upside down. Yeah, going down, curve down. But when you write in equation, the variation form, we change it into a constant rate. So it will be a straight line also, starting from the origin. But over here, we have changed it into fraction form. Then it becomes 1 over x. Okay. Y varies inversely as 1 over x. So we have to write your variation form. Y is proportional to 1 over x. Okay, so that's the reason when you change into equation form, it will become y equal to k over x. That's the difference. Last is the joint variation, or in BM is ubahan bergabung. So it can be combinations of the direct and inverse variation, and it just depends on the questions what they give, you substitute only. Convert it into variation form and then convert it into equation form. So far so good? So anyone until here, if you have no questions, can you type in no? You can type in okay also okay. Can you let me know in the chat box? Okay, okay, all right. Okay, good. 3% okay on you. All right. Others? Okay, all right. Okay. So since you have the idea right now, can I just test you, give it a short quiz? A short quiz here. Okay, now I want to draw out a table in a table form. Okay, if you understand what is the meaning of variation. Okay, if I write here equal to 14, this is 2. And when it increases to 4, then this is 28. Increases to 6, this is 42. And last increases to 8 is 56. So if I say y varies directly as x, is this a true statement? Justify your answer. Justify your answer by giving a reason. Okay? Justify your answer by giving a reason. So how would you answer this? If you understand what is being taught just now, okay, I give you 30 seconds to figure it out. Think about that. As I say, KSSM syllabus is about understanding. And it's not like last time, it's all about calculation. So if you want to write down the answer here, you need to calculate as well. But how you want to give the answer in perfect way. Yeah. So 30 seconds to figure it out. Just think, look at your notes. 30 seconds. Give it a soft music. So anyone get the idea? You can just type in the chat box here. Anyone? Can I call someone to answer? It's more than 30 seconds, right? Kishan, can you try, Kishan? Possible to unmute yourself? Kishan, are you there? Kishan? Still counting? Ooh. Is it too hard? This question is too hard? No, okay. It's okay. All right, it's okay. What about Jinyi? Hard. Okay. It's okay. We discuss later, yeah. What about Jinyi? It's true. This is true, but do not know how to justify, right? Okay. This is a common issue faced by student right now. It's okay. We all share the same problem, then we all learn together, yeah? It's okay that you do not know. So the most hard all times means what? All times 7, okay. Kishan, you got it right? Yes. Kishan, you got it right, but you just do not know how to put it in words, right? Or how to justify it by giving the proper working. So look at here, y varies directly as x. What we have learned just now and keep on focusing is about what? The constant rate. If you remember, is what? The k, the value of k. So whatever the questions is, you just need to prove the value of k. Proof means calculate the value of k. So no matter the questions ask for the value, ask for proving, ask whether it's a true or false statement, what you need to do is always find the value of k based on what you have learned. So you change this, y is proportional to x. And then you change it into equation form, y equal to kx, right? So in all the column here, you're gonna check. You check each column. So y equal to kx, when you want to find the constant rate, it will be y over x. So you check each column. So 14 divided by 2 is equal to 7. So you just show in the working. Okay, you just show in the working. Let me scroll down. Okay, so you just show k equal to 14 divided by 2 is equal to 7. The next one, 28 divided by 4 is equal to 7. 42 divided by what? 6 is equal to 7. And so on. Right? It's equal to 7. So because k is the same, so it has the same value of k. Hence, this is a true statement. You just need to answer true statement. Is that all right? Okay. So that's how you answer. It's actually the simple thing. But when it comes to questions, sometimes you will see something like this, justify. So if like the simple one, okay, let's try another one, more direct. More direct questions would be, given that y equal to 6 when x equal to 0.64 and z equal to 5. So express dalam BM tu ialah ungkapkan y, ungkapkan, express y in terms of x and z if y varies directly as square root of x and z. So this is the questions, more direct questions. Okay, we do together. So this is the info we have. Express y in terms of x and z. This is the request or the questions. So if y varies directly, berubah secara langsung dengan square root of x and z ya. So change it into variation form square root of x times z. Change it to equation form y equal to k. Okay, you can put the z in front first. You get confused. Okay, put it into equation form. So substitute to find out the value of k. Substitute right here. Y is equal to 6, k, then z is 5, and 0.64. So k equal to 6 divided by 5 times 0.64. Okay, so you can write in fraction form as well, 15/8. So write back the equation form, y equal to 15/8 z square x. So that is what questions want. Express ungkapkan y means y equal dalam sebutan x dan z. So ada sebutan x dan z di situ. So this is the answer. Okay, can do ya. Okay, one questions as your homework, not homework. That means you have to do right now before we dismiss the class, yeah. So I just change a bit here. If this part. Okay. If y varies directly, berubah secara langsung dengan x dan kuasa bagi z ya, kuasa 2 and the square of z. So I'm going to remove or erase this part. One last questions before we end the session, yeah. So you're going to do this and send in the answer. DM me. Okay, just DM me will do. So for maths, you have to practice. It's not like chemistry, or you can memorize or what. You need to practice and work out. Okay, if you get the answer, you can type in the chat box. Okay, go answer already. If you have any questions also, you can DM me. If you have any problem. So waiting for others. So change to equation form. Yeah, then you substitute, yeah. Okay. So, okay, some of you get k equal to 3 over a. So write back, express y in terms of x and z. Just rewrite back. Yeah, substitute the value of k. So y equal to 3 over 8 x z squared. So done. Okay, everyone got the same answer. Some of you got the answer already. Okay. So far so good until here. Can follow. If you can follow, can give some response. You put a thumb up, whatever. Or type in the chat box. Okay. Well done, everyone. All right, Kishan can. Okay, yeah. Others also okay, right? So yeah, so this is the chapter 1, variation. Ya, ubahan. So yang penting mesti tahu graph, variation form and equation form. So basically ada dua jenis saja. I would say only got two type because the third one, the combined variation is the combinations of that two lah. Yeah, and the questions is like what I gave just now is either ask you to prove, ask you to calculate, or ask you to express, ungkapkan dalam sebutan apa. So sometimes they give in, I would say paragraph form, something like this. It's just that it tests your language lah. I would say test your language. So sometimes maths is not about maths only, it's about language as well. So you just need to change it to whatever the variable is, then you can proceed to find the answer. Is that okay? So if no problem, I would like to end the session here. Yeah, because it's done. I've done for chapter 1. And next week we will do K-BAT questions for chapter 1. And then we can proceed to chapter 2 already. So if times permit, let's say for Form 5, for Form 5, there are only 8 chapters. Okay, there are only 8 chapters, but there are quite many new chapters in Form 5 syllabus for KSSM. But I think by July, we can finish all the syllabus, and we have, I think, quite ample time to do revision from Form 1 to Form 4. So not to worry lah. So as I said, consistency is the best plan. So every week, make sure you catch up, okay? Whichever chapter or whichever part you want to do, and then you will not feel so panic or so rushed at the end of the year lah. Okay, is that okay? Everyone cool? Okay, if no problem, I would like to end the session. Okay, so before you leave, just to let you know, we have, for those new here, we still have other trial class. So I just sent it in the chat box. Whoever haven't, Tayusha, if you want to sign up for MX or Physics or Chemistry, you can just let me know lah. Okay, just WhatsApp me. Okay, so if no problem, I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Bye. Welcome.